beings. Okay. Yeah, started up a little bit late. It's only 1 o'clock in the morning. All right. So, reptilians in the Ozarks. It's in the Arkansas area, U.S. It goes further than that, but also the Blue Ridge Mountains, the fairy energies that are there. I don't want to go into the whole government frequencies there. It's like you kind of beat that to death. For the Blue Ridge Mountains, basically connect to like the Agarthian energies of it. As to the Ozarks, there is a reptilian energy there. It's pretty heavy. Not to say there isn't a positive frequency, but it's as if they made themselves home. You know, it's like their home. It's almost like the Sasquatch. I feel like there's a heavy reptilian frequency there. Not to say that they're bad, they're just a lot of them are there for whatever reason, so they can, or tap into their energy field. And there's Triangulum star beings. So there's a star constellation. I think it's called Triangulum. I'll have to look at that again. That I've never seen that before. Of course, there's a lot of star clusters. I do get like the triangle beings have energy there, but also there's a squid energy there, like the not just squid, the octopus frequency is there. That's where all the aliens are. Whereas every star area has some kind of humanoid. Of course, in the fourth dimension, in the physical dimension, it's a different story. Yeah, that's a different one. That's a weird vibe there. I didn't put this in the title though, but the spirit guides, the spirit realms, are not still. I mean, people are healing their secret space program lifetimes, and that's fine. But there's also the spirit realm, the spirit world is still kind of a mystery. And I don't know how the alien group or how the spiritual groups are, but if they're talking about how the spirit realm is complicated, because especially you have spirit guides that are kind of snarky and kind of arrogant. That doesn't mean those are good guides. Now, sometimes they're just snarky, it's just the way they are. But others they're just kind of parasitic beings. They're parasitic beings that are coming off as positive guides, but actually they're parasite beings. So it's good to be aware of that. I mean, if you feel like your energy is fine, then you're probably fine. But if you feel like there's something there you're just not quite understanding, it's good to clear out your energy field and clear out the snarky guides that you don't need. Because guides normally should be, they should sound, a little bit more respectful. Some guides aren't very respectful because they're lower dimensional guides. Some are just, like I said, that's the way they are. Some are parasitic, some are demonic, coming off as your guides. It's different for everybody, but it's good to do an energy cleanse because look at the world and it's chaos. It didn't become chaos just because of us. It's chaotic because it's being forced on us on a lot of levels. And there's a spirit world that people just don't understand. You can't see them. You can't, people are healing from their traumas from other lifetimes. You're healing from all this and that. And it's a deep connection. They're not always aware of the spirit guides that can be all hijacked themselves. Like I say, this isn't for everybody, but certain people are going through it. Especially if you have family members that are extremely negative, and it goes on from there. So it's just there's little layers that can be tapped into. Yeah, it's a kind of a complicated situation there. I should put that in the title, but kind of snuck it in instead. But yeah, spirit world is it's just good to clear out your field, revoke them, revoke the guides, revoke spirit realms, And I don't think you're going to hear that from most people. That's the thing. They have some of these psychics. They say, "Oh, spirit world is all wonderful," and what if that's a hijacking? I don't think even some spirit people understand it that well. I mean, especially if it helps their prosperity. Like I'm doing spirit work, I'm getting prosperity from it. Do you really understand how screwed up the spirit world really is? It's like it's pretty complicated. Look at our world. Our world it gets so pulled into agendas, and Jesus is coming back. Or you have Armageddon, the world's going to implode, pole shift stuff, alien disclosure that might happen, might not happen. It gets rough. That's human culture. Yeah, it's a road. It's like you gotta choose your character. Who you gonna be? You gonna believe Jesus is gonna come back? You believe the end of the world's coming? You believe aliens are gonna come back? And what kind of theme you're gonna live? You don't have to choose those, but some choose them and get kind of stuck there. So yeah, the religion energy, obviously many get pulled into it because they grew up in it for obvious reasons. So it's kind of like the easy button. And, there is positives to religion. You can connect to other people. It's a community. And then you can connect to some bizarre church Scientology stuff. It's like, okay, so this is like the Bible is a murder book. Okay. So anyway, there's good in all things, of course. But anyway. So, all right. Yeah, I've never gone to religion. Do you wonder why? All right, it's time to talk about private sessions, scheduler. We have the shop here. I don't know where I am. I'm thinking I'm still in December. Webinar tomorrow. Social network behind the scenes. I got kicked out. Okay. I jumped around. And then you have the star system. I can't pronounce it. Triangulum. Kind of gives you an idea of what it looks like. I think that's it right there. Yeah. So Andromeda versus just kind of like a little guy in there. Of course, all these star systems go with millions of stars and so on. So we'll go into that. I don't think I need to show the Ozarks. I think people know what that looks like. But you can always look it up. Fritzy's here. The cats are here. They woke up from their 12-hour nap. So I heard them in the background for a little bit. Okay, so do reptilians in the Ozarks and Bulledge Mountains, call it Agartha entrance, but fairy energies, and then Triangulum. So, okay, right. Blessings, here we go. Greetings, we have reptilians, consciousness, frequencies. Yes, we do live among societies. There are actually worlds, reptilian worlds that look like the Ozarks. So you have a piece of our world on your planet where it is this vegetation, not so much desert frequencies. This many reptilian beings feel at home there. Yeah, so you can say they're similar to the Bigfoot, where they're not there to cause any difficulties. They just feel like that's a homely place for them. Yes, many of them do live underground, so you might be able to tap into their frequencies. There are some areas in the Ozarks that you don't want to go to. Well, if you do, just be careful because there's some areas within the forest that can get a little bit dangerous. Well, just the vibrations. It's not always very welcoming. There are many forests that just are not welcoming anyone. Not necessarily a reptilian purpose. Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes it's just there's just many agendas there. Yes, the human trafficking frequency that's going on. Not to jump too deep into that, but it does exist. Exists all around, yeah, disappearances, things of that kind. Yeah, some zetas are playing a role in that. And those are hijacked zetas normally. Your normal zeta would not get involved with it, but hijacked zetas, just like your hijacked government, will do anything. And for your world to become more aware of it, it's a difficult one. Well, say like you're here to awaken society to the alien agendas. So many of you, some of you, will continue to incarnate to heal the corruption, like in this lifetime, becoming more aware of it. And then over the next few lifetimes, you're part of the alien awakening to talk about controversial subjects. Yes, it might not always work so well. You'll have lifetimes that feel like you've been defeated. And then there are lifetimes where you feel like you're actually succeeding. The reason we're bringing this up is like there are lifetimes where, like as an Indian being, like a Native American, like you're there to bring prosperity there, but the Indians are going against you. And so you try again in another lifetime. Once again, they go against you. Not all the tribes are not always welcoming to new ideas. And you find another way, then you find another way. And it's a warning direction. So the aliens, yes, a foreign entity still. So many of you are just kind of building up momentum for your future lifetimes here to bring that frequency here more into the physical realms. Realize it's not going to be all of you, but some of you will come back no matter what to get humans to understand what they are dealing with. It's almost like beekeeping, because like many are realizing how to work with bees, and then sometimes they have failed lifetimes with that, and then they have lifetimes of prosperity with it. Because not everybody understands what a bee is, beekeeping, and how important bees are to the world. And alien energies is another foreign entity. Of course, the world also has to become more fourth dimensional too, to really take it seriously. Right now, the world's very third dimensional, at least in its thought process. And eventually the world it'll get evident over time that there is an alien presence here. And some of you, yes, you are aware of it, of course. It's just not the time for it. You'll have some kind of, you realize you're not alone here. Now, some of you already have that, but you'll have another, conjunction of energies. Because realize your life, as difficult as they are, it is being monitored to a certain level, not all details. But they know when you go through stress, let's put it that way. When you just absolutely had enough of this reality, trust me, that you feel it. It can actually cause difficulties on their ships. Like an alien ship can really feel, wow, that person's really having a rough day. It's rough waters here in the skies. Of course, you don't see the alien energies, but some of you can pick up on their frequencies. At least a lot of alien ships do sit in the sky and just dormant, look like a cloud formation, and just sit there. Like you look up in the sky, just like this little cloud, just sitting there, and just like, is that a ship? Most likely it does, but not always. So reptilian beings do realize we are more like a reptilian collective. Not all reptilians have to be rough around the collar or shoulders or whatever word you want to use. A lot of reptilians do sound like humans. They look like a reptilian being, but they look like they talk like you and almost look like you to a certain level. I mean, many are civilized. Of course, there are reptilian beings that are far from civilized. Yes, a lot of them have been ignored. They've come from planets where they've gone through their own abuse. So the beings that are here. So you have alien, as some of you know, you have reptilian beings that are went through their own mental abuse as they were growing up, and then they're just taught to be angry at your world for whatever reason, doing with their kingship, their royalties telling them what to do. Even if they don't always want to do it, they still have to do it because they're being taken care of, they're being fed, they have a home. So it's like being born into the army. They give you another perspective of that. So if you're born into the army, what do? You become very good at it, hopefully, or you escape, which that does happen. You'd be surprised how many reptilians escape. Eventually, you'll see that more in your society. Yes, a world within a world. Well, basically, your senses will open up. We actually feel these civilizations. It just your world isn't quite there yet, but you're getting there. We just know there's an alien, like the Blue Ridge Mountains or the Ozarks. There's a frequency there, and there's just certain areas where, yes, you might be at home in your house, but you always feel like you're in someone else's living room because there's another entity there too. Not necessarily of a negative nature. It just is a parallel reality there, and it's easy to tap into it there. It's just the frequencies there are just a lot lighter where you can see what's going on. So this is Greece. We are a Gartha consciousness. Yes, the fairy frequencies are there quite frequently. There is many entrances to the Agarthian realities, of course. And yes, there's many dinosaurs in the Gartha. We hear about dragons. What about dinosaurs? We don't hear about those very often. And they're not always, yes, out to eat anybody. Sometimes they are. All depends on the entity. It just nothing ever goes away. Everything's still here in some kind of reality, as some of you know. The Blue Ridge Mountains is securing knowledge of the past and actually bringing in much of your future to the frequencies. Yes, it's kind of like a blanket to help your earth heal from all the denseness. It's also basically a place where alien beings go to heal themselves when they connect to Earth's frequency. Many just find the Blue Ridge Mountains as home. I mean, yes, they're still as an alien being, but they feel like that's part of your world, that they feel like it's very similar to their world in a positive reality. Of course, they're not going to go off their ship and live on your planet. They can, but the frequencies are still too low. But over time, you will see that as your own frequency. Basically, humans in time will become a lot lighter. It hasn't quite got to the level that many of you feel more satisfactory. There's still a great deal. Basically, children remember their spirit guides, their lifetimes, and that's becoming more of the norm, like spirit children, you can say, or starseed children, whatever you want to go. Indigo children, crystal children, whatever words you want. Basically, your future generations of children where they just start remembering things more clearly and it becomes stronger and stronger here. Right now, if you have like a child talking about Palladians and lifetimes on other worlds, yes, that child will probably be committed, depending on the family. Doesn't mean that you're quite there quite yet, but there will be a time where the memories are just much easier. It's going to get more wild, but it's going to come through your children. It'll come through many of you also, but then you have to become human. You have to be human. As you know, the everyday grind. And that's part of your mission, though, is to be part of, it's like you're integrating your energy here to make it lighter over time. It's like you're kind of chiseling through a rock. You're bringing your energy to a world that's solid, has its mindset on a certain level. You're truly clearing out the frequencies that you're not always aware of. That's why you feel this pushback. You're literally just working with Earth's energy for future generations to come here with some kind of chance to be themselves, the beings. So you don't have to have this forgetfulness here anymore. Now, for you that is already here, you can also remember if it's necessary. Sometimes remembering is like the last thing you want to do. It all depends on the situation. It's like you might remember too much, or it's just it doesn't go in with your life. Like it can, if it goes in with your life, meaning like it helps you through your everyday grind, then that's where the knowledge will come through. It's like if this will truly help you. It's like if you're bowling in the astral realms or you're on some kind of romantic getaway and you're lonely here in this reality, that doesn't always help you. Because it's like, why am I here again? And the idea is you can't always know everything about your mission here because that's kind of the point. So sometimes the less you know, the better. Then you get some idea, but you can't always just spell it out for just your protection. I know it's different for everybody. Some can know and won't interfere with them. Others, they know it'll interfere with everything. But the Garthian frequency. So some of you came through the Blue Ridge Mountains as you incarnated here, meaning that you live there. Same thing with the Ozarks, or you found a place to you connect to the mountain energies. So the mountain energies is alien, and that is why you're there. That's nice. Greetings. We are Triangulum. Yes, star beings. Greetings to you. Yes, we are triangle frequencies, triangle beings. There's many of us here, of course. Even they're actually in your star system too. You just don't always see it. At least in your solar system. It's not always important at that time. Yes, you're basically humans are. Uh, Sometimes the galactic knowledge. Yes, you can. It's not always society is not always ready for a great deal. Meaning, some of you would like to have some literally proof physically. Like some can incarnate here, give you all this galactic knowledge on a spiritual level, but there's really no proof of their connections. And then you feel like there's something else going on there, which many times there is. That's not always helpful. It's just that it's growing pains. A great deal, as you can see. The squid frequencies are very heightened here of longevity, removing blockages within your DNA that actually help. Actually, there is a growth hormone energy, basically restoring akashic knowledge. Not necessarily have to have a squid connection for that, but basically you can be assisted by squid beings in the astral. Let's put it that way. Or any being that you want. But it's like sometimes you can't clear energy. And you ask the squids to clear it, so you connect better to the astral realms because you can't be blocked. But it all depends. Everybody's different how you connect, of course. But as a triangle frequency being, basically, yes, we're part of the simplicity of humanity. You could say, yes, we don't have the facial features as a human, so we can see things much differently. We can go into your mindset. We can basically, it's like on our world, everything's open. We just say whatever's on your mind. Your world is a bit more difficult. It's just basically because there's nothing to hide. Of course, we don't have materialism. We don't have stores. We're not putting on clothes every day. We're just beings. We just exist. Where we came from it was like, wouldn't it be a neat idea to be a triangle being? There's more to it than that. It was like, I see that human form, but I don't want all that comes with it. I want a more simple version of it. It's like, yes, I don't mind being human, but I don't need necessarily have to have a face like humans do. I have a consciousness. If you need something to see, you can see the triangle frequency. It just that's where I feel like I can speak to you, or I just feel comfortable in my body. And you don't have to have all these facial features and all. Yes, seeing humans go to the store and put on clothes is quite the sight. Because a lot of us are just energy beings. And that's like so foreign to our reality. To see, yes, the everyday, yes, just getting ready for the day Can be a few hours for some people. It's quite the adventure, you can say. Repetitive, but nothing wrong with that. It's kind of like it keeps you kind of balanced here to a certain level. Yes, it's all about looks, really. Even no matter what you want to look. Yes, you look a certain way in public, then you look a certain way at home. It just doesn't take the home side and bring it to the public. Sometimes it's something they need to heal, like if they say something out loud that they probably shouldn't have said. But it's like sometimes the dark side. Like they say yes, a racial slur out in public. And that means that it needs to be healed. And some of them been slave owners of their past too. Imagine if a bunch of you know, triangle beings came on your planet and just started to tell you all the slave owners of your planet, just basically started rooting them out, not to witch hunt anything, but just to heal it. To be upfront, and not just that, it's all things. It's not our job to do that, but we could. Well, basically, for it to be healed, of course, we feel all the agendas are going on also. Meaning some are racist, but not really. They're just using that to up their careers. There's a lot of that going. It's unfortunate. It's government propaganda. They use that on their flags to manipulate society, and society buys into it. The government, of course, has been hijacked. But if you're a government like this, wouldn't you be hijacked? I mean, do you see any other way? Could it really be good for the people? It can be, but why should it be? If it can get away with criminality, and that's what it's doing right now, why not? Until it gets caught, until it gets put into the light. I mean, alien beings see it and they say, oh, we know what you are. So, like a triangle being is not something that humans normally see. There are other beings that can be straightforward. It's like the less humanoid, you're humanoid, but the less humanoid you are, meaning you don't have the eyes and all of that, it kind of makes things easier for us to see and us to not care what we say either. We're just there to lay it out for you, not to judge or anything like that. We just see what is there and pull it out into the light. And some of you have been those beings yourself. But then you're human here is like, oh, it's best if I just not say anything. And that's true. Do you want everybody to come after you? It's not necessary. So it's just, well, I think we've seen enough. So, blessings.